I'm going to be 1,000% honest. In the last 2 minutes, I've been walking around the office measuring people's hands because of the news today about even if it's news. So what I'm going to do here is throw a question to PJ real quick, and then I'm going to run and get my computer so we can actually do the show. Like I said, I've literally spent the last 3 to 5 minutes leading up to the show measuring people's hands. Actually,
I know that.
I need to go do Kevin's real quick too. But that being said, I'm gonna throw the question to you real quick, and then you two guys can discuss. Kenny Pickett, news of the day, has a half-inch smaller hands than Joe Burrow. And if you remember the joke, it was Joe Burrow's hands are small at the combine. He put the tweet out. He's like, "Oh, guess I got to retire from football. My hands are too small." Joe Burrow, 9-inch hands. Kenny Pickett, 8.5-inch hands, smaller than any starting quarterback in the NFL right now.
Right.
So throw the question to you. He wears gloves on both hands.
Yeah.
Kind of like Peyton Manning at the end of his career.
Okay. Well, yeah.
Does it matter?
Right. Good question. I'll go with a solid probably not. If he's been able to produce and play football at a high level, and especially at the quarterback position, be able to hold the ball well, secure it well, and throw it well up until this point, I think he's going to be all right. A lot like you said, a lot like Joe Burrow. I think so much. This is part of the reason why I
not a lot like Joe Burrow.
No.
His hands are a whole half-inch smaller than Joe Burrow.
I know. I started a point and then I went on to another point, so I shouldn't have done that. But it's just, this is another reason why I just can't stay in the combine and all these things. Like, we're going to break down and analyze these guys to an insane level. And some teams, especially to me, the bad ones, are going to start forgetting, like they have amnesia about the production that these guys put out and get so obsessed with the fact that, man, this guy's 256. He really needs to be at 251. Or this guy's maybe a quarter inch shorter or taller than we thought he was going to be. Or his hands, man, a little bit smaller than I thought. That it doesn't matter. Let him go out there and play some football. He's already proved that he can do a good enough job. This is also like in the preseason. Remember people saying that Jamar Chase was having a tough time with catching the football and like new NFL balls, whatever. It doesn't. Well, guess what? Jamar Chase went out and did. Had one of the best rookie seasons for a wide receiver. I mean, ever. Yeah, so like, I know it's a different conversation, I guess, but it just, you got me on my soapbox here, and it's just ridiculous. Stop for someone who overanalyzes everything. Don't overanalyze this NFL teams. The dude can throw the football. He can throw it well. So his hands being a little small, not that big of a deal. Sorry, Cam. I kind of took that and ran with it. But
no, you're fine. I just don't understand the hand size thing. This is a guy that's thrown over 10,000 yards in his career. If you take out his first year, 10,000 yards, over 75 touchdowns. What does his hand size have to do with that? I don't think anybody in this office could go throw 10,000 yards in 4 years at the University of Pitt, who we don't know anything about quarterbacks coming out of Pitt. But what does his hand size have to do with anything? We
know one that came out of Pitt.
Well, Dan Marino.
Yeah.
That's about it. But I'm talking about in the past 20 years, nobody has came out of there, especially since I've been alive. Nobody. But it's the fact, what does his hand size have to do with it? He was successful last year in doing something as far as taking Pitt to a New Year's Six bowl. He's been successful pretty much his whole career for the most part. He hasn't been great, but he's been successful enough to get to where he is now. I don't get the hand size thing. It's just
I will not have you sit here and slander Nathan Peterman.
Oh,
Why not?
Nathan Peterman is terrible. You see what I mean?
Or Tyler Palco.
No
with
clue.
the Chiefs from 2002 to 2006.
Nathan Peterman is terrible.
Or
Isn't that the guy that threw 5 picks?
Matt Cavanaugh.
Nah.
Played with the Eagles for 3 years.
Kenny Pickett would be good. He's the first. He's really, in my opinion, the only, I could say, NFL ready player right now. I don't know a lot of NFL ready offensive players right now. None of them are NFL ready, including running backs and wide receivers.
I mean, I would beg to differ. Have you seen Evan Neal?
Well, okay, skill position then. Let me rephrase that. Wide receiver, running back, and quarterback. He's the only NFL ready player. I don't think none of the wide receivers are NFL ready right now to come in and just produce right now. Because Jameson Williams can't play. How's the NFL ready when you're injured? Same with Mechie. Same with all those guys from Ohio State. None of the other quarterbacks are ready to come in and produce day
ready
one.
To rock?
No. I don't know.
Garrett Wilson's ready to roll?
No. I don't know if they're NFL ready to be day one starting receivers, and they have to go up against, let's say, a pretty mid-level defense. I don't know if they're that yet.
All right, well, I'll say this. This is from NFL.com. The only quarterbacks who started a game in 2021 with a hand that measured less than 9 inches, Brandon Allen and Jake Fromm. So, I mean, is it correlation? Is there a minimum hand size?
I don't think so.
We're going to see. I mean, it is a bigger ball. Like, I know you guys were talking about this not too long ago. It is a bigger football. The Duke is a bigger ball.
Yeah.
And so we'll have to wait and see. Like I said, he's already wearing gloves in college.
Was Brandon Allen and Jake Fromm first-round picks, though? Not Jake
Will
Fromm.
Kenny Pickett be a first-round pick now?
Yes. I think he'd be top 15.
I think him throwing at the combine is now going to be super important.
Absolutely. But I think
if you start seeing
be top.
like
Sure.
things that were spirals in college, all of a sudden get that little flutter on them.
Right.
the football's bigger.
Yeah, that's what I'm just saying.
And to me, like, that's understandable. Actual production on the field, you can see it like with your eyes affecting the throw. That's a different story than just seeing it on a piece of paper and being like, this is ridiculous.
So here again,
if it starts affecting him, sure.
Some of the hand sizes for quarterbacks, Dak Prescott 10.875 has the biggest hands in the league.
I mean, there's some
Hands
monsters
from
out there.
thumb to pinky is almost a foot.
Yeah, that's insane. What I would argue about the
Baker Mayfield, who stands about my height, 9.875.
Maybe they need to
That's
decrease
crazy.
their hand size to get a little bit better. Because Baker Mayfield.
I
and
don't
Dak
think there's any
Prescott.
correlation in that. Josh Allen 10.125 right there. I'm trying to go. There's
think
Pat
there's
Mahomes 9.25.
there's like a certain threshold though where it's like, all right, you can grip the football really well. That's great. Like
Well, it's more than
you know
that.
what,
Though.
like-
It's like if you go out and sling a football around, you're gonna be much more accurate and able to do more things with if I give you a middle school football than a high school football.
yeah, I'm saying more so like I think there's a certain threshold.
Which I think
you're
we learned
listing off
today,
these guys.
If we did quarterbacks, like if we ranked our quarterbacks in the office by hand size, Cam might come in last place.
I would, but I don't want to play quarterback. So it's all good. It's all good.
I don't know.
I don't
I'm
know-
just saying.
I don't know
like
if you'd be able to play receiver either.
Oh no, I can catch a ball now.
I don't know.
I can catch route running.
See, I'd
I
be
get
more
open
worried
enough.
about that. That's my thing. Like, I'd be more worried about wide receivers' hand size than I would be a
That's true.
quarterback. But at the same time, like I understand the grip problems. Like you said, if you end up seeing it on the field starting to affect him, that's a different story. What I was trying to say with the, I think that you start to get to a point where it's like a guy has 11-inch hands. That's great. If he had 9.5-inch hands, I think it'd still be all right.
Yeah.
Like, you know what? I think there's a threshold you get to where it's like, all right, you've gotten to the
all
point
about
where
the
it's not a
person.
question anymore. You should be fine. I also, though, don't think there's an immediate correlation between Pickett and Fromm and Allen in the sense of Fromm was incredible. Like I'm not taking any shots or anything like that.
Sounds like you
But no, I think if you directly correlate that and that's it, you're kind of disrespecting all of those guys.
I think it's
and
more so than
the
like
scale of
you're
how
not
good they are as a
saying-
football player altogether.
I don't think you're saying, hey, Kenny Pickett's Jake Fromm. I think what you're saying is no one with those measurables outside of Brandon Allen and Jake Fromm started an NFL game last year.
Right. That's fine. Break the mold.
I think Kenny Pickett would be
Let's go.
Do
okay.
it for the small-handed guys.
Sure.
Now,
I mean,
see,
what
I
like,
will hate is if he does, and I don't think he's
A lot of
gonna
guys
drop.
out there go say that hand size is average.
Look, I don't
All
think
right?
his
That's
A lot of
draft
guys-
stock is
there's
gonna
a
fall.
typical hand size.
a lot of those guys don't care.
That
Yeah,
hand
that's
size.
what,
That hand
that's where I'll
size
go
gets the
to.
job done.
I hope his draft stock doesn't fall because I would hate for him to fall to like the Saints and then become a win now team because he could come in there and be a Mac Jones and just help a team.
It's not
win
the size
now.
of your hand. It's how you use it.
Yeah, no, for sure. Of course.
I'm gonna be upset if he falls to New Orleans.
I don't know how this happened, but like,
Let's move
I'm
let's
not
move
even.
on.
I'm not
All right,
even about it.
This is also one of my favorite times of the year for just misdirection and smoke screens. Like this is smoke screen season,
yeah, it is big time.
where a whole lot of GMs and coaches are out there saying things that are just complete BS, trying to land the guy that they like. I have to imagine this is what happened when Mel Kiper was talking to NFL insiders about Nakobe Dean. Mel Kiper said, quote, "I've heard everything from, quote, he has short arms to I don't think he's an explosive athlete and that should show up in his workout." Nakobe Dean was far and away the best linebacker in college football last year. Like, everyone thought Georgia just got rid of Roquan Smith. Like, he's top 8 pick playing for the Chicago Bears. There's no way they replace him, right? And then Nakobe Dean comes along and he's just as good, if not better. And then all of a sudden you get to the combine and it's like, oh, his arms might be a little short. I don't know if he's as explosive as we think he is. Did you not watch the Orange Bowl?
Right.
Where he just bird dogged a dude from one side of the field to the other on an orbit motion, and everybody in the stadium saw it coming, right? And if there's one linebacker, if I said explosive linebacker, I think to a man in this room, we'd all go Nakobe Dean.
Yeah.
But now you got an NFL scout out here saying, I just don't think he's an explosive athlete.
Does it sound like kind of what you heard about Lamar? Like when he got drafted, he couldn't pass, he couldn't do none of that. But
no, see, to me, I
college.
don't know, because that to me was just Bill Polian and some other guys being dumb.
I think they're being dumb.
No, this is smart. This is them doing that, hoping that somebody else picks this up, goes back in, dives in, and goes, oh, his arms are a little short. Maybe we need to go in a different direction. And then the people who said it are 2 picks behind them and end up drafting Nakobe Dean. They're like, yes!
I feel like he's going to fall a little bit. I do feel like he's going to fall a little bit, though.
Well, I think he falls just based off of his position.
Yeah.
Like, he's not an edge rusher.
Mm-hmm.
He's an inside linebacker. And fall is a very subjective term. He could probably still be a top 15 pick.
Right.
That's a very subjective term. Depends on how many tackles go. Depends on how many quarterbacks go.
I think it'd be an Eagle. They have 3 picks.
I would be so upset, and that would be the most Eagles pick of all time. Like, the only teams I could think of that I'd be like, yep, that makes sense. It's like maybe the Ravens. Where you're like,
the 15,
all right,
16, and 18 pick. 15,
Sick.
16, and 18. They're going to get him.
I just hope he doesn't get stuck on some team like the Jets.
I think he'll be an Eagle, man. For real. They have 3 picks.
Great. And they'll just have another awesome defense year after year.
Yeah, why not?
Awesome
he can play
GM.
Behind Brandon Graham and Fletcher Cox.
Must be nice. Huh?
They're nasty. But like you said, that would fit the mold as well. I mean, we were just talking about the other day, like they go out in the front 7, especially. The Eagles seem to almost always get one of the best SEC defenders pretty much every year. So that would make a whole lot of sense.
Is it time to refresh the Christian Gokel draft strategy?
Yeah,
Let's draft SEC.
No, there's a little bit more than that.
That's what I do.
It's take the best available SEC player, unless you need a quarterback. And then it's okay to go Big 12,
Somewhere
Big 10,
else.
ACC if you need to. And I would even say this.
Just don't pick a
For
USC.
a while,
or
maybe not this. Maybe not. No,
Pac-12.
I'll even say this year. Take the best SEC or ACC player.
Yeah.
I'm cool with taking ACC defensive lineman.
I totally get that.
Bradley Chubb,
For sure.
any Clemson defensive lineman.
I would
Yeah,
argue.
Like, are
all
you gonna
right.
miss out? Are you gonna miss out on some Bosa's? Yeah. Are you gonna miss out on a Chase Young? Sure.
Micah
It's fine.
Parsons,
It's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
something like that.
It's fine.
You talking about the team that
Fine.
passed up on Mike?
It's fine.
I mean, I love Kyle Pitts, though.
Fun to
I'll
say.
leave it alone.
Oh, for sure. Like
leave
I'm
that
not.
alone.
That's
I mean,
not
you
my
can't have them
argument.
all.
Well,
I think-
you
Not
can't have your cake.
Pokemon.
My
And he's
only
a-
argument there would be I know Big 10, whatever, but
I
like
think there's
big,
a lot of arguments.
big
I think I'll just
dude, Big 10 front 7 is kind of right there too. Like not Aiden Hutchinson.
That's fine. Like I said, the Falcons drafted a dude and he ended up being a pretty good pro. The Falcons drafted Brent Grimes out of Shippensburg State.
Oh yeah, Brent Grimes was solid.
No,
man.
but
He was solid.
again, you drafted a guy no one, including people who attended Shippensburg State, had ever heard of Shippensburg State. Right? It sounds like in
They
the
thought
movies,
it was fake.
they sound like in the movies, it's like the South Harmon Institute for Technology, right?
Yeah.
Like doesn't exist. And so you're watching, you're like, okay, the Falcons, maybe there's this guy, I watched him a lot this past year, Ole Miss. He could be really good right here. Maybe the kid from Tennessee. Shippensburg State.
Mm-hmm.
Let everybody else be the smartest person in the room.
Right.
Let everybody else outsmart everybody. Just go do what the Ravens do.
Brent Grimes was the Pro Bowl. Yeah, he was solid, man.
This
It's
is not the trial of Brent.
I
Brent
like
Grimes.
that. No, I
This
like
is
Brent
not the
Grimes.
trial of Brent Grimes. If you
I
really
love
want to get into Brent Grimes conversations, let's talk about the cake
He's nice.
that his fiance had made for him. We can talk about that if you want to. But no, it's more so than Brent Grimes. I'm saying,
There's a lot of Brent Grimes stories.
yeah, there are a lot of Brent
Weird.
Grimes stories, but more so than Brent Grimes as a player. I'm saying, if somebody else wants to go be the smartest person in the room and draft a dude out of Shippensburg State, fine, let them. Cool.
Right.
If I'm an NFL GM, I'm taking the least risky available option, which is 2 teams played a national championship this year. They both came from the same conference. Causation, correlation, whatever you want it to be. Typically, the best players and teams end up in the national championship. I'm just gonna go draft from that league. And if you guys go out there and you're just better than me, fine. I'm going to lose with what I think is just the best league with the best players.
I'm more excited to see what the Falcons do with their 2 second-round picks than their first round. I want to see what they do with that. Like the
I think
first
the
round
first
pick
round is going to indicate what they do with the second round.
Yeah, like if they get an O lineman, I'm pretty sure they would probably make a defensive line
Wide
or
receiver,
wide receiver,
secondary.
But you got 2 picks.
Here's
in
the
that
cool thing
second
about the
round.
Falcons, Cam. You need everything.
Yeah, but
Go and
they're the
get it.
type of team that they go get a quarterback before they get everything that they
But there's
need.
no position outside of kicker where you're like they don't need to draft somebody.
Right.
I
There's
don't
just
think
more important.
Okay, you tell me if I'm wrong. I
I
think
don't know
you
if that's
draft
true.
the QB in the first round.
If
I
you,
don't
if
know.
you,
Not
if
at
you,
8.
if you love Malik Willis,
If you love him,
if you think Malik Willis is the guy, which saw a pretty cool video a little bit earlier, Malik Willis helping out a little like a homeless individual on the side of the street where nobody else was watching. So if you're looking for character checkpoints, Malik Willis, I think, just checked off a lot of those. But if you love him, if you're like, this is our guy for the future, take him.
you gotta love him.
Take him. No,
I
that's what
mean,
I'm saying.
you
You got to
gotta
think,
love him.
and I'm willing to build my franchise around him. He can sit behind Matt Ryan for a year or two, and then he can be our guy. Fine.
Georgia guy too.
Fine.
Georgia kid,
But
yeah.
do I think you have to go get a quarterback? No, certainly not. And I think they will? Probably not.
Yeah, I think I know where I want them to go. I want them to get in the trenches because this is kind of like a trench type of draft where you go get mean guys.
I
would
think,
love that.
mark my words, I think one of those edge rushers is going to fall.
It makes sense to me.
And I still don't inherently think that'll be the best thing for them.
You could throw a parade
because as we talked about this before, I don't care how many 255, 260 pound edge rushers you have. If that's all you got outside of Grady Jarrett, teams are just going to double Grady and run right up the middle.
You seen the Lions clip where they triple team? He's like, dang.
Yeah, I tweeted that out
only
because
got
somebody was like,
somebody
"Are
else
you
to
calling
block."
Grady Jarrett soft?" I'm like, "No, I'm just saying
No.
this is Grady Jarrett's reality right now, which is he gets triple teamed every play."
Gotta give him some help, man. I hope they draft in the trenches. I really hope. Offensive line.
Grady
defensive line.
Jarrett on the Falcons defense is the equivalent of that might not be fair.
You're
I'll
about
say
to say.
Matt Stafford on Detroit.
Yeah, it is.
I was gonna say Calvin Johnson. Like
Mhm.
Grady's good, he ain't that good. But
Not
it's the
quite.
equivalent of Stafford on Detroit's offense. Is dude is an all pro. I'd say if he played on a better team with some of the numbers that he put up, yeah, I mean he's an all pro level player.
Yeah, he's top 5 defensive
Right.
tackle. Yeah,
Right.
sure.
And like the only reason he hasn't been all pro more is because he plays the same position as Aaron Donald.
Yeah.
But he's an unbelievable football player playing on a terrible unit. So it is what it is. Let's take a quick break. We got more to come here. We got some other storylines to dive into. We got some college football storylines to dive into, and a fascinating story that I think hits close to home for a few people. So we'll dive into that when we come back. This is Second Down on ESPN Radio. Second Down on ESPN Radio is presented to you by the Uniform Source. Christian Gokel alongside Cam Ursery and PJ Zuko. I did want to hit on this story real quick. Cain Velasquez, two-time UFC champion, has been charged with attempted murder after police claim that he chased down a vehicle, shot at it at least 3 times with a .40 caliber pistol. And the reason why he was chasing said vehicle was that one of the occupants was apparently a person who had been accused of and released from prison without bond, just let out for molesting a young girl in his very immediate family. And so Dana White joined Barstool Sports to talk about this, and he said, I obviously feel sorry for him and his family. It's a horrible thing. I don't know enough details to speak on it, but from what I've heard, and then he kind of pauses and looks at the camera, and I think he says something that rings true because I've heard a lot of people say it. We all say we do it. If it ever happened to us, Cain did it. A whole lot of people that say, what's the line from A Time to Kill? Anybody touches my daughter, he's a dead dog. A lot of people who say they do it. Somebody touches my little girl, somebody touches my little boy, somebody touches my wife, I'll kill him.
Mm-hmm.
Me and you had this convo yesterday about our sisters. Something happens to our sisters, I'm not going to say what will be done because somebody would search for me as soon as this happens. But that's that. You don't play about family.
And so Cain Velasquez, again, car chase him down. And what ended up happening is the stepfather, I'm trying to find the dude's name right here, Harry Golarty, who has, again, been accused of lewd and lascivious acts on a child, was let out of prison by a judge, no bail, just had to wear the ankle bracelet and have, basically home imprisonment of a 4-year-old. 4-year-old in this case. Cain Velasquez waited outside, got in the car, chased him down, hit their truck with his truck, and again, fired 3 shots, struck the accused stepfather, who is recovering non-life-threatening injuries. But still, I think that's an interesting point from Dana White. We all say we do it if it ever happened to us. Cain did it. And so now he's been arrested. Obviously, law enforcement can't have people taking things into their own hands, but that's got to be traumatically hard to accept, right? When the law enforcement does their job and they go and arrest an individual who molested a close relative of yours who is 4 years old at a child care center. So law enforcement does their job, arrests the individual, and then that individual is let out, no bail, and basically just said, here, you have to wear this ankle bracelet and stay 100 feet away from anybody under 14 years old.
Yeah.
That's got to be tough to swallow.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, I think the word you put there as well is traumatic in a lot of different ways, in a lot of different senses for all of these people involved. And I don't, as someone who's older and has, like you said, family and things like that, you don't know. I think people say a lot of things. You don't know how you're going to react until you get that moment. And when something like that,
I don't want to make light out of this situation, but if there's one dude who's like the human embodiment of being about it and not talking about it, it's probably Cain Velasquez.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Yeah, exactly. You don't, that's what I'm saying. You don't always know how your body, how your emotions, how mentally you're going to react to something until it happens. But like you said, that there's people out there who say they know what they're going to do and then they go out and do it once they feel it. And as you said, there's a lot of people who say the exact same thing. And if anything, I somewhat respect him for being a guy that says, you know what, if this happens, I'm going to do it. And he's true to his word, right? At the end of the day, I think this brings up a bigger question, and I think something that we all have talked about in the past, and how in the world was that guy just let go?
Yeah.
So I know I'm not an expert.
I have a lot of questions for that judge.
Right, that's what I'm saying. I know I'm not an expert on that matter or anything like that, but I know that's wrong. I know there's no way that's right. So, yeah, no. At the end of the day, Velasquez is 100% about it.
I'll be careful with what I have to say. I just don't understand. Like you don't put your hand on a female in general, but like for a 4-year-old kid, like a minor,
It's a
disgusting.
different kind of evil.
Yeah, it's disgusting, and they have a special place for people like that. It's just downright disgusting, and the fact that he was let off, even if he had bail, he should never get bail in the first place. But
Well,
let
here
off
that's
with
an
no
interesting
bail.
statement. Cain Velasquez currently remains in custody after being denied bail.
And see, it's so backwards to me. So what was he supposed to do in that situation? Just eat it up and be the bigger person? I
Well,
don't
it's an interesting conversation because by the letter of the law, that's exactly what
that's
he's supposed to do.
exactly they want you to
That's
do.
exactly what he's supposed
Yeah.
to do.
But
Is
it's
you're supposed to
also
sit there
wrong.
and let it work out. If the dude doesn't show up for his court appearance, then obviously a warrant would be put out for his arrest, and then law enforcement handles it from there. But at the same time, Cain Velasquez is a person who I'm not questioning his intelligence in this. It's more so think about how he's dealt with every problem in his work life, quote
Yeah.
unquote, right? His job
Right.
is to go out there and physically put something down.
And that might be the reason why the other guy was, the guy was let off with no bail.
Did y'all ever hear the story of Marcus Luttrell? Do you know who Marcus Luttrell is?
Mm-mm.
He was a Navy SEAL in the early parts of the War on Terror, and him and his group were in an operation, I believe it's Operation Red Wing, in Afghanistan. Basically, things go sideways. His entire unit gets killed except him. Comes back. He's a hero. Writes a book about it. Gets a dog donated to him, which he names after the members of his unit. And then some kids. This is after he gets out. Some kids come by. Actually, I think he was still in at this point. Some kids come by that had been just going around shooting livestock and animals and shoot his dog.
Sound like John Wick.
Well, so they that's exactly. And so they kill his dog. He gets in his truck and just high speed 100 miles an hour chases with them down the highway. And he's like on the phone with the police the entire time, calm as hell on the phone. I encourage anybody to go look it up. It's on YouTube. You can listen to his phone calls with 911 dispatch. But like basically he's having to like transfer between jurisdictions while he's on hold of 911 because they're like going through counties in Texas.
Mhm.
And so to me, it's this story versus that is similar. Is what are you supposed to do if someone shoots your dog? Supposed to call 911 and you're supposed to let them handle it.
Mhm.
What has Marcus Luttrell been trained to do entire life? Neutralize a threat.
I like how you use the term neutralize.
Yeah.
Yeah, neutralize the threat.
It's
Yeah.
neutralize the threat. And
Go
so
finish it. Yeah.
Cain Velasquez, his entire life, has been trained. If there's a threat in front of me, I got to put it down.
And the thing is, regardless of what he did, even if he beat the living heck out of him, the other guy should still have to live up to his charges and what he did. Not just get
I don't think that
released.
should affect that at all. Now,
Yeah.
Cain Velasquez is going to face a lot of charges, and maybe out of this,
Jail
some sort of
time.
plea deal gets played out. I don't know,
Yeah.
but the reality is there was 2 other individuals in the vehicle
Mhm.
with the person he was going after, and he was just blindly shooting into the vehicle.
Yeah, that's true.
So he could easily kill somebody.
I understand his frustration, though.
Right.
I don't even know if that's
Good point.
frustration.
I'm 100%
I think
behind
at that
him.
point, I think that's rage.
Well, yeah, it's
Like
rage. I'm
you
100%
don't
behind
barrel
him.
into somebody's truck with your truck firing a 40 at them
Yep.
That's
because
true.
because you're frustrated.
And then you molest. I'm gonna leave it alone.
Yeah, it's a tough story all around. But again, the person who is accused of, again, I want to get this exactly right, lewd acts with a minor was let out on bail, or no bail, just let out. Cain Velasquez currently remains in custody after being denied bail. That's just the reality of the situation right now. This is Second Down on ESPN Radio. We got more to come. Some other news coming out. A particular movie that I want to ask Cam about is being remade. We'll dive into that when we come back. This is Second Down on ESPN Radio. Second Down on ESPN Radio is presented to you by The Uniform Source. Hollywood has officially run out of ideas. I'm just going to put it out there. I understand remakes are not a new thing, and I understand I'm not the first person to say, do we really need to remake everything? I understand all that completely, but first thing I thought was, no, we need to remake this movie. Apparently, Jack Harlow is set to star in a remake of White Men Can't Jump, which I am a massive fan of. Woody Harrelson, you didn't know he could ball like that, Cam. Wesley Snipes, you didn't know he could ball like that. Rosie Perez, just beautiful. But that being said, and I'll say this real quick in the defense of White Man Can't Jump, because I know it gets a weird rap. Like it's one of those ones where you either love it or a lot of people just like extremely dislike it. Yeah. I think it has some of the best like actual sports scenes where it's like actually like does justice to the sport it's trying to portray. Like there's some pretty cringy basketball movies, right? Where you're just like, okay, everything off the court's fine, but then they get on the court and you're like, this is basketball? Or the same with football, same with a lot of sports. But like the actual like them playing, slick. It's actually some good basketball in those movies, but I love the whole movie. No, I don't know that we inherently need to remake it.
My favorite part was when they was in the park and he said, "Guys, play me. I'm finna go get my gun." Oh. You know, I like that part. That's one of my favorite parts. But no, some movies you just don't need to touch, and though that's a classic. Like you don't, in my opinion, you touch some of the movies like you could touch Batman and Superman and all that stuff. You can remake that, but the classics, you just gotta leave the classics alone so we can have that nostalgia. So I could look back on it like I know my sister and my girlfriend, they haven't seen, White Man Can't Jump. So guess what? When I come home or whenever I see them again, we can go watch it. We can watch it over and over again. 30 years down the line when I have kids, we can watch it. Look at this movie came out in the 90s or 80s or whenever it came out. We could watch it. But the remake, sometimes just leave it alone.
What are the best basketball movies in your opinion?
Kid, before we move on,
go ahead. Let them think.
No, I just wanted y'all's initial reaction to that because this is something that Cam has said a lot, but I'm gonna have to say it. I've never seen White Man Can't Jump, so
that doesn't surprise me inherently. There's maybe not in your realm.
I had to think.
Well, I mean, because no, so like I love basketball, love watching basketball, love playing basketball. I have never really watched a lot of basketball movies. I've seen a couple, but I don't know. So for some reason it doesn't really like pull me in.
The ones that always get like the credit, Hoosiers, I think, is the one that like most people say is the best ever, but also is probably the most divisive because it watch Hoosiers and you'll know what I'm talking about.
Right.
That being said, one of my favorite moments in Hoosiers though, Cam, you've seen Hoosiers, right?
Yes.
Gene Hackman, when they go to play in the state championship and they've been playing their Iowa or Indiana corn-fed pass the ball, like chest pass basketball the entire time. And the first time they see dudes slapping backboards and doing layups, the coaches, Gene Hackman and his coaches kind of look at each other like, oh.
See, I want people to understand this. Love and basketball.
Love and basketball is the one I was going to say.
It's not a basketball.
Oh, movie. No, you and Ben would probably fight about this.
No, I like love and basketball. Right, but that's more of a off the court thing.
Whenever we talk about this, though, that's the one he goes to, though.
No, that's not even top 5. Man, Coach Carter, you got Glory like Mike.
Up there, yeah.
One of my favorite movies of all time. This might be my favorite one. I introduced my family to it. Above the Rim.
Okay.
You got Dwayne Martin, Tupac, Bernie Mac. It's in New York.
I'm gonna throw some at you. Air Bud.
Wait.
Air Bud's okay.
Is that a basketball movie?
Air Bud's absolutely a basketball movie.
Is it just a dog movie?
No, Mike is one of the best movies too, though. With Bow Wow. That was really cool because the sneakers and stuff, they rip on him, kind of loses powers. Man, it's some good basketball movies, but loving basketball, I like the story in itself. It's a good movie, but that's not a basketball.
Juwanna Man?
Come on. Oh, man.
It's a basketball movie. You know which one's severely underrated? That one. In my opinion, a great movie. Finding Forrester is a wonderful movie.
I have not seen it.
Sean Connery.
We forgot Space Jam.
Well, I was going to ask you. Space Jam's a basketball movie because they maybe play basketball for a quarter of the movie. It has all the stars in it.
It has all the stars, but I would say it's like 50-50 kind of. It's more of a basketball movie than Love and Basketball. I do know that.
Goodness.
I know that.
What about Teen Wolf?
No.
What? Did y'all see, by the way, did y'all see that I'm pretty sure LeBron James was nominated for like the worst actor of 2021?
Probably that thing bombed.
With the with the
We're
Space
just talking
Jam.
about remakes, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's perfect. Why do you need to remake it?
No.
You know
don't.
why they need to remake
Especially
it. It's a money
now,
grab.
like, well, yeah, of course, but like, especially now with like the technology we have to like go back to old movies and refurbish them and stuff, make it better for TV nowadays. I mean, do that.
Well,
You don't
I
need
guess
to
the
totally
point would
remake.
be like, does a 7-year-old care about Michael Jordan?
Look, I would say
you need to educate them.
Yeah,
That's
okay.
what they
this.
need to
I
do.
haven't seen this movie in probably 10 to 15 years, but this is some people consider the best basketball movie ever. He Got Game.
I was about to say we haven't mentioned that one.
Denzel.
Ray Allen.
Denzel Ray Allen.
Jesus
They say it's the
Shuttlesworth.
best one.
You know why I think that one has an argument to be the best ever is because people literally wear, and I forget, someone like a very prominent athlete recently wore it, is people will wear a Jesus Shuttlesworth jersey.
Yeah. And then it's the iconic He Got Game 13 from the movie, the shoes. I think that could probably be number one because obviously Denzel holds weight over, I think, anybody in the world when it comes to acting. It's Denzel. So, but I totally forgot about that. It's been about 15 years since I've watched that. I need to watch that again. But I got to talk to Ben. Love and Basketball, leave that alone.
I need to write these down, honestly.
I think
they all sound really good.
They all are really good. Like Mike is an excellent movie.
I've seen Like Mike when I was a kid.
Young Little Bow Wow.
Yeah.
A little Bow Wow action going on there. But
Above the Rim, man.
Glory Road,
That's
that is a tough
good movie.
Glory Road is a tough watch.
You said Bernie Mac, Tupac. I mean, yeah, why not? That sounds great.
Wayne Martin.
We haven't mentioned Semi-Pro yet.
Oh, I forgot about Semi.
Oh,
yeah,
so
I
you
like that movie.
Semi-Pro. Okay,
I know, I
good.
like that movie. I like that with Jackie Moon. I love that movie.
You have been
That
punched.
movie is
You've never been
hilarious.
punched in the jejunum?
No, I actually like that.
No,
movie.
the best part of that movie is when they throw the alley-oop up for the first time, and the rest just goes foul.
Yeah, I like that movie. I forgot about Semi.
For what?
I'm over here looking at some stuff because I'm like, I know I'm gonna forget it.
But no,
So,
okay,
yeah.
going back to White Man Can't Jump though, is like Woody Harrelson could actually ball.
Yeah, they can actually ball. Both him and
Like Wesley Snipes could actually,
ball.
but like I think Woody Harrelson more so than Wesley Snipes.
Yeah, he was the better.
Just
one
the
in
whole
movie.
funny part about it was
Yeah.
those hamstrings couldn't get up there, you know?
Yeah.
Like he was trying. He was slick dribbling. He did the thing that like everybody learned after that, where I don't know if there's a name for it, but it's like where you go on all fours and you dribble and the ball's in your shirt and it comes back out around the
that
other side.
street ball stuff. Yeah, I could never get down with that, but it's fun watching it.
But no, if somebody pulls it off in a pickup game, though, it's just like you have to leave the court. Like at that point, it's over.
Oh yeah, I personally.
Like, is there a
never seen
better
it
street ball
personally.
movie than He Got Game or than White Man Can't Jump?
Above the Rim?
Better street ball movie?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. That's strictly street ball.
I will. You can avoid that came out recently. The Way Back with Ben Affleck. You can avoid.
Oh
that
yeah,
one.
no.
I watched it. I was like, oh, I'll give it a shot because they did like the huge pouring money into the campaign to get people to watch it. Yeah, you don't need to watch that one.
I had a buddy go and see that, and he was just like, "No, it's bad." And not only that, like I'm very I don't know if you guys are like this with some actors. I am very selective with my Ben Affleck movies that I will watch because there are some that are pretty good, and then there are some that are just complete.
You know what?
Usually
It's
when
one
Ben
way or
Affleck, when Ben Affleck is, and I love Ben Affleck, but usually when Ben Affleck is giving too much power in a movie, i.e., like directorial writing, maybe don't have to go see that.
Right.
One movie that was decent, Uncle Drew with Kyrie. That was like a 5 or 6 out of 10.
Okay, have you seen Blue Chips with Shaq?
Yes, I have.
That's a wonderful movie.
Has anybody seen the what is it called? More Than a Game with LeBron?
I have not.
It's been too long. I saw it when it first came out in 2008, and that's about it. So I might need to rewatch it.
Is that like a movie or like a
No,
documentary?
it's like a movie / documentary. It's like an hour and
Gotcha.
45. Like it's okay, but it's been in the office today. No, is he?
I think he's going to be joining us via the web stream, but you can absolutely talk to him about
I
it.
definitely have to talk to him because no, Love and Basketball is a great story, not a basketball movie like that.
Hoop Dreams?
I don't think I've even watched that.
About a 3-hour-long movie.
Yeah, and that's probably the reason why.
Right. That's
Way
kind
too
of
long.
there's
Just,
a
Cam,
cutoff.
your thoughts on Hoosiers before we go to break.
My thoughts on Hoosiers has been a long time since I watched it, so I'll say that I need to watch all this again. He Got Game. I need to watch that.
All
again.
of them, huh?
Yeah.
Bring PJ because he hasn't seen any of them. We got to
Yeah.
take a quick break. We'll
A
come
movie
back,
night.
wrap up second down. If we have a movie, it's going to be a movie week because you guys have not seen a lot of movies. Cam
Yep.
needs to see Predator, Red Dawn. There's so many things that Cam needs to see.
Oh,
That will.
I thought
we'll-
you was going to say Alien versus Predator. I've seen that.
No. Just Predator. All right, just Predator. We'll come back. We got more to come. This is Second Down on ESPN Radio. Second down on ESPN Radio. Christian Gokel alongside PJ Zuko and Cam Urshery. We're presented to you by the Uniform Source. Happy Dr. Seuss Day, guys.
Okay. Wow.
Green eggs and ham.
How about that?
I was about to ask you, but you just did the word association thing. What's your favorite Dr. Seuss book?
Didn't read like that growing up. So I just say whatever the book was with green eggs and ham. That's all I ever remember. I did not read growing up like that.
That was pretty much the same with me.
I'm also stupid. I misread the internet. Dr. Seuss Day was yesterday, but
Oh, there
here
you
we
go.
are.
Okay.
Better late than never.
Misread the internet.
Oh, it's a good thing because like none of us, it seems like, have really listened or
Let's
read
just do the
Dr.
sports show
Seuss.
pivot. Who's your favorite number 3 of all time? It's 3-3. Go.
No, come on,
Allen
man.
Iverson.
Chris Paul.
How is Dale Earnhardt
Is
not
it-
said yet? What in the what is wrong with you guys?
Allen Iverson.
What in the world?
Okay, PJ, you got 2 minutes. Tell
It's
us why
Dale
No,
Earnhardt.
tell us why Dale Earnhardt's the best 3 of all time.
How do you
Can I say why I think he might be the best 3 of all time?
you don't even need to. It's just understood.
I would say it can because at every track across America, basically, but specifically Talladega, the third lap, when they start the third
Mhm.
lap, everybody in the stands just holds up 3.
Holds up that 3 in remembrance. You want to know what? Listen, he would probably be second on my list. I'm from Pennsylvania. All right. The Sixers are all right. Listen, I have AI as second on that list. So I love him too. How many championships does AI have?
Uh-oh.
Hey, look,
PJ said, show me
It's
them
not-
rings.
It's
Let's
not the
talk
answer.
about Dale Earnhardt's
it's not the
champions.
answer's fault.
Championships, all right? How about 7?
Not his fault.
Tied for the most all time. With
How
the
about 7?
with the quote unquote king, who, let's be real, the real king, Dale Earnhardt. All right.
I'll go with the answer. It's not his fault. You know, Kobe and Shaq were undefeated in that playoff run.
Are you saying
That
Babe,
one
are
loss
you saying
was
he's
to
a
the answer.
better athlete than Babe Ruth?
Better athlete.
Like, yeah, I mean, NASCAR, they're athletes, but just like better
How many
num-
championships does Babe Ruth have?
better number 3, 7.
Crap. How many race wins does Babe Ruth have?
I don't know, but he had 714 home runs and a 342 batting
Doesn't
average.
sound like 93 to me. Did he win?
Is he better than King Griffey Jr.?
Who, Dale Earnhardt?
Yeah.
Well, of course.
What about
If
Dwayne?
he's the best, then yes.
What about Dwayne Wade?
Oh,
Dwayne Wade,
wow.
you can't pump fake in NASCAR,
That's
so
actually a better 3 than Allen Iverson.
Dwayne
can't-
Wade only has 3 NBA championships.
you can't draw fake fouls in NASCAR like Dwayne Wade.
Wow.
Whoa.
I respect the heck out of
That
Dwayne
is
Wade's
so
game,
disrespectful.
but if for the last 10 years of his career he just played instead of trying to draw a foul every possession,
Oh
he would have
my
done a whole lot
goodness.
more.
Oh,
That's all I'm saying.
You come after Dwayne Wade
Those
like
are some
that?
tough answers. You come
Yeah.
out after the flash
No,
like that?
absolutely.
Yeah, PJ gets emotional when he talks about
Oh.
Dale Earnhardt.
It's not even that. I get emotional when I talk about Dwayne Wade and those terrible pump fakes. I almost swore. Get me out of here.
I love Dwayne
You
Wade.
can get out of here if you're going to speak about Dwayne Wade like that. And I'll take Daryl LaMonica over Dale Earnhardt.
I don't even know who that is.
No,
Yeah,
you don't.
exactly.
You don't need to.
Speaking of threes, 3 and out coming up next.